All right. Good morning, Carol. Love the sunshine. All right. All right, folks, while you're joining us, sit tight, get comfortable, be prepared for some really great information today. Namaste, Great Thank you for joining us. Always love the positive vibes. All right, let's see. Have a couple more people jumping on. All right. So just while people are kind of jumping in, and we'll go over this in in some of the I can't think of it right now, but just the overall before the meeting. Everyone is muted upon entering the meeting, but if at some point you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat, or if you feel like it'll just be you'll be better understood by using your voice, go ahead and unmute yourself. But in the meantime, anyone that's not speaking will, we just ask that you mute yourself so we don't have any background noise kind of interfering. So thank you again for joining. I think we can go ahead and start. And then anyone else that kind of trickles in, they'll fall in line with the discussion. So that being said, thank you everyone for joining us on this beautiful Friday. I know not everyone is located here in Buffalo, but hopefully you are having great weather like we are having today. We are really happy to have Sara Vescio, the Executive Director of the Women's Business Center at Canisius College, join us for this discussion today, specifically tailored towards women entrepreneurs. We know that we have a very important role in this particular demographic, but we don't always get, I think, the shine that we maybe deserve. And so Sarah's definitely going to help us understand maybe some of the struggles, that we kind of encounter, and just what we can do about it. Maybe there's some things that, some tips and tricks that we should be learning so that we really can get our feet wet in this area. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right, here we go. So again, welcome, happy Friday Forum. And this is Sara Vescio, as you can see in this beautiful picture. So she's gonna be helping us, as we said, helping women find success and profit through entrepreneurship. Let me go right here. Oh, let me see if this is working. Okay, so as I mentioned before, a few housekeeping items. Please mute yourself if you're not speaking. If you've joined on your phone and computer, please mute your computer speakers. If not, we will get a very loud, obnoxious sound. If you can, please use a headset. But if you have a pretty silent background, as I do, there's really no noise going on. It's, you're free without a headset. You don't need to turn your camera on, but if you do, just be sure your environment does not cause a distraction. Sometimes it's helpful, but yeah, just, and also we are recording this. So if you don't want your face to be shown, then, go ahead and turn your camera off. Okay. You are welcome. Like I mentioned before, you are welcome to use the chat to comment or ask questions. We will be monitoring the entries and read them aloud. But as I mentioned before, if you feel better just kind of asking your question yourself, feel free to unmute yourself. You can raise your hand in the chat. Someone will see it, and then you can unmute yourself to go ahead and ask your question. And most of all, please engage, as much as you can with this forum. That's what these forums are for. We're really, it's less of a one-sided situation with these forums. And I think with any kind of workshop or anything that we do, we really want the engagement. We want to make sure that you're interested, that you're learning, and that if you have any questions, that we're able to answer them. So again, feel free to engage. We are definitely here to learn from each other and support each other. All right, so a bit about Pathstone for anyone that maybe isn't too familiar with Pathstone. We are a nonprofit, so and we are a CDFI, and that is a community development financial institution. So, you know, we're mission based, so we provide small business loans and technical assistance to individuals in financially underserved communities. Our loans start from $5,000. Those are usually for startups, and they can go up to $250,000 for existing businesses. We do offer free technical assistance. Technical assistance involves business development, education workshops, one-on-one assistance with industry experts, mentoring and coaching, and networking, which is huge, right? If you don't network, it's going to be really hard to kind of get your business out there. So if you're interested, or you know, you just kind of want to learn more about us, feel free to go to our website at theenterprisecenterinc.org. Follow us on social media. You know, we have the handles there. There's @Pathstone Enterprise, and for Instagram is the Enterprise Center Inc. Some of our financial assistance programs that we currently have, you know, you can kind of see here, and, you know, we'll put things in the chat if anything comes up or if anyone has any specific questions. You know, so there's the famous PPP that currently is through Pursuit Lending. You know, there's the New York Forward Loan Fund. You know, there's obviously an array of avenues that you can use right now if you're looking for some type of financial assistance, whether that be a grant or a loan. So, and just in case, you know, you're wondering, we will send out the slides in a post forum email. So you'll be able to, you know, have access to these links as well. All right, and welcome and thank you to today's expert, Sara Vescio. So I will let her take it away now. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Before that. Sorry, I jumped the gun. So we have here a pitch that says, or a slide, I'm sorry, that basically we want to understand what type of businesses people have that are joining today. So if you could just, you know, give us a little bit about yourself, tell us your name, your business name, and, you know, what type of business do you have? So now I will, I'll open that up to, to folks. Whoever would like to start off, let's see.
Yeah, this is Adam Tidrow. I'm a business development officer here with Pathstone. So I just want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us today. One real quick note is Pathstone is now approved to do PPP loans as well. So if there's any questions anybody has about that, please leave those in the chat regarding PPP, and we can make sure we get you information on that today, so we can get you in that process.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam. He's definitely more on the financial side of the business development officers. Oh, and I guess I should say who I am, right? So I'm Jahaira Zapata. I am one of the business development officers at Pathstone Enterprise Center. Wow. So yeah, I deal with more of the marketing and the TA providers, that kind of aspect. Adam is definitely our finance guy. So anything about loans, he's your guy to go to. I will go ahead and maybe unmute some people here. And as Deanne had kind of mentioned, we actually have a really big group today. So thank you for coming. And so we're just gonna narrow it down to a 30-second pitch since we have so many people today. I'll go ahead and unmute some folks. I have Vachelle Franklin.
Hi, yes, my name is Vachelle Franklin. My business is Frog Academy of Creekside Village. We are a child care facility in Garland, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. And let's see. All right. Miss Carol Jackson, would you like to go next?
Yes, my name is Carol Jackson, and I am a new financial coach at Pathstone Corporation in Muncie, Indiana.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. I like to see that we are well beyond Buffalo. All right.
Real quick, if I can interject here, Carol, I just moved to Buffalo from Richmond, Indiana, so I'm very familiar with Muncie.
Awesome.
All right. We have Corey Verona, if you'd like to go next.
Sure. Hi, I'm Corey Verona. My business name is DN Organics. I'm working on a startup natural hair care company where it will include non-toxic natural shampoos, conditioners, and styling products. And I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. I'm definitely trying to be on a more natural kick here. So anything that is more naturally derived, I'm interested in. So thank you. Let's see. We have Carrie. I don't want to butcher your last name. B-Y-R-N-E, Byrne. Would you like to go next?
Yes, hi, I'm Carrie Byrne. I'm a nutrition educator, and I'm actually also looking to do health coaching on the side. So now with this COVID environment, I'm just kind of not sure where to go with that. So I want to see what I learned from this.
Oh, you muted yourself somehow.
I'm looking forward to seeing what I learned from this forum. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining, Carrie. I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat right now trying to transition their business. So thank you. All right, we have Karen Schwartzman. There you go.
I'm just joining a little late.
That's okay.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us, Karen. Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
I work over at the Rochester Area Community Foundation and community programs, and we provide grants in the 8-county area. And you know, so in some areas, our work does touch on supporting entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And I too do some business consulting on the side. And when I saw your invitation this week, I thought, you know what, I'd love to just sit in on this today and hear the conversation and just kind of listen. And if there's anything I had to offer, that I would be here.
Perfect. Appreciate you joining us, Karen.
Thank you.
All right, we have, all right, Krista from an iPhone. Would you like to go next? All right, we'll come back to Krista. We may have some audio issues there. Louisa Bars, would you like to go next? Uh-oh. All right.
Lisa, you're on mute. I see she's talking, but.
Thank you, because I can't see. All right, so we'll go to Melissa. Louisa may be having some audio issues as well. Melissa Gopal? I hope I didn't butcher your last name.
No, you did it perfectly. That's fine. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Melissa Gopal. My business is Self-Direction Planning Service Associates Incorporated. I actually provide brokerage service for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and assist them to put service plans together so they can self-direct their services. And these are individuals who are waiver eligible through New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities. I've been in business since early 2017, and I formed my S Corp in mid 2018. And I'm actually located in the Buffalo/Amherst area, and I serve Erie and Niagara County individuals. And I'm currently in the process of putting a 501c3 together for another organization to help people become activists and advocates for accessibility and disability rights, civil rights, access issues, etc. So I have a full plate, I can say.
I see. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you get a lot from today's discussion. And we just have a couple more people, and then we can go ahead and start Sarah's presentation. We have Pauline. Would you like to go next?
Yes, this is Pauline. I'm glad to, thanks for the invite. I am a business owner as well. My business is Moving Forward Training Source, and we provide trainings in a number of different areas: leadership training, staff and leadership development, grant writing, business startup. So it's a number of different trainings that we do in the community, and I am also been incorporated now for 2 years, but I also recently started a nonprofit that would also add value to the lives of people in our community. We realize that poverty has been pervasive in the area, especially in Rochester. And I believe that instead of throwing a lot of money towards poverty, is that we start teaching people about building wealth. So we have a nonprofit now that's called Legacy Makers Wealth Initiative. So that's what I do. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us, Pauline.
Pauline, you're a Rochester-based company then?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's great. I love what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kiana, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name is Kiana. I am attempting to launch a kids fitness center. My idea is basically a Baby Bally's. So they don't have that anywhere. I've been working on it since about 2015, 16. And it's just really time to take action, get all the knowledge that I can, network with the right people. On this call already is people that I already know that could be very helpful in providing information in what I'm trying to do. So my motto is healthy kids make healthy adults. So we want them to just, work on eating healthy, work with the parents to let them know that there is meals that you can make 30 minutes or less on the go that can be healthy, and they can still maintain the proper diet and exercise. So I'm just working on that. I think that I've just been running into glitches with the COVID-19, the spacing and things like that. So it will be very helpful to, just, touch base with other people on what their ideas are and, ways that they can help and help me grow.
I love it. Sounds great. I agree. Healthy children do make healthy adults, right? We have to learn good habits while young so we can keep them going. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Definitely. All right. We have, let's see, Tatia Wormley.
Hi. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Tatia. I am a placement career service developer for Pathstone in Rochester, and I'm currently working on my business, which I named Versailles. Classy, sophisticated, and what I do is I tattoo eyebrows. So I call myself the browologist. I wax, I tattoo. I also went to school for aesthetics. So I'm just trying to get my business from the ground and hopefully float soon. And what I do is I love to make women feel beautiful about themselves, encouraged. It can even be a male as well, because there's a lot of women who have dealings with hair loss. So I thought that would be a great way to, start my business. And as well as I do lotions, sugar scrubs, and pretty soon I'll be making lip glosses.
Okay. Great. All right. So I think what we'll do is anyone that didn't get a chance to give their pitch, we'll save it for the second half or essentially towards the end. That way we can go through some of the slides, you can get some of the information you came to get. And then we'll, obviously give you your chance to let everyone know what type of business you have. And that's how people network, right? Maybe there's something that you didn't think you'd hear today, but you find there's a business you're very interested in. So we'll go ahead and save those towards the end. And we will let Sarah begin.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you, and I'm also very happy that Pat Stone has given me the invitation to meet you and to bring some information to you. So I'm excited that we have this group of all women that we could talk to about our women's lives. It's the real story here. That's what we did at the Women's Business Center. We don't really generally talk about women's lives, but just being together, we get it. And so I know that Adam and Hubert are on the call, and I know that they get it too, and that's great. But what I've got here for you guys in the slides is a lot of information. But as was mentioned in the beginning, I always work in a very conversational way, very kind of casual in that I want to get to know you. I want to get to know how I can help you. So as you'll see in the slides, I'm giving you a lot of information, but by all means, feel free to jump in with a question throughout, or something that you want to know a little bit about, or even if it's something that you want to ask other entrepreneurs about that information. Let's just dive into it along the way. So the Women's Business Center is an organization, well, I'll get into a little bit more about us, but let's talk about the overall outlook of women entrepreneurship. So this was really interesting. I follow all of the reports that are on our keeping tabs of our nation and women throughout the country. And boy, our statistics are looking good. We have been on the rise as women entrepreneurship for a few years. You may have heard that women are starting businesses at a faster rate than any other segment. And in the last couple of years, women of color even more so. So of course, you'll notice that on the bottom right-hand corner, it says pre-pandemic statistics, because as we all know, the pandemic, COVID-19 has wreaked havoc with what all of us know to be. So let's dive in a little bit about where women were prior to COVID. Women have owned or do own 4 out of 10 businesses in the US. And in last year, almost 2,000 net new businesses every single day were started by a woman. And women of color founded 89% of those new businesses, and now own 50% of all women-owned businesses in our country. Half of women-owned businesses are concentrated in other services. This is a question I get asked all the time by people that work with women entrepreneurs, whether it be lenders or other companies that want to utilize women businesses. And so professional services and the service-oriented businesses are by far what outweighs the industry that women start businesses in. So the categories reported are other services such as salons, pet care, and things like that, healthcare and social assistance, and professional, scientific, technical services. I have my thoughts on why services are a large part of the industries, but we all know the norms about STEM and how our country was working so hard, for a number of years to get more women in the science and math and technology fields. The social services for a long time has been where our history is. So the pet and beauty industries are extremely profitable right now. So many people spend their extra dollars in there. So that also is a great place for women to be starting businesses. And so in the way women felt prior to pandemic starting was really looking good and feeling good about where they were going to be in 2020. 84 expected year-over-year revenue growth, 74 expected to, I'm sorry, 73%. Oh, your messages are going over, there we go. 73% planned on expanding, 25% planned on hiring, which is huge, and 12% planned on applying for a loan, which is higher than our usual statistics. So those were really good things pre-pandemic. If you could go to the next slide. So this is the other scenario. I know we have a few women that were looking to start a business. We don't have a hand raising thing on this, do we? Reactions. No.
There is
a thumb raise.
Yeah, there's like a thumb raise and there's some reactions. I can't see it on my end since I'm sharing the screen, but I think most people can have the hand raise or thumb raise.
So I'd love to see just if you could give me the thumbs up in your reaction. How many of you are looking for information to start your business or are just in the launching process? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you for that. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, the screen.
Where do we go here?
Let's see. All right, hold that thought. Gotta love technology. Hold a second. Let's go here.
Do you want me to pull it up on my share screen?
There we go. Oh, just, sorry, one sec. Okay, here we go. All right, we're back.
Okay. So when people are looking to start up, there's so many question marks in your mind, right? What does it really entail? What do I really have to do? And going back to the real talk conversation, I did want to make sure I put this out there because you got to know what you're getting into. And so I put a slide together. It's harder than you think. 62% of women entrepreneurs depend on their business as a primary source of income. Actually, a lot of women business owners start their own business either out of necessity because they can't find a good job that will pay them what they deserve, or for flexibility because a lot of childcare lies on the women in our country. And so those are two big reasons that women are starting up businesses. So in the United States, based on that primary income on their business, mothers are breadwinners in half of families with children under 18. And you can see how it breaks down there for women of color as well. Yet the wage gap for mothers is larger for women overall. Interestingly enough, I'll get into the wage gap a little bit more here too. Women start businesses with half the capital of men. They tend to bootstrap more and try to use their own funds when men will look for other capital. Access to capital is difficult with lending as well as venture capital. And a lot of, this term was interesting when I found it in a report, high economic impact is something that a lot of industries look at in their business, calling it high economic impact in our community. They hit that benchmark of 500,000 or more, yet so very few do. And the pay gap, I actually did a testimony for our government in Buffalo, I think in 2015. And pay gap is real for women entrepreneurs just as much as in the workforce. The average age of women is in between their 40s and 50s to starting businesses, which means they've had so many decades in the workforce of being undervalued already. So that goes back to the difficulty of bootstrapping. They have less funds than men as well. And so to start off with. And then it continues with what they pay themselves. There's so many out there that don't pay themselves first, as it notices they're only 41% as compared to men. 53% actually do pay themselves, and when they do, they pay themselves a lower dollar amount than men do. So if we can go to the next slide. So how do we counteract that? And that's why you're here today. Really, we got to know what we're up against, and then how are we going to come together to rise together? And so the Women's Business Center is really brought together to battle this with 3 key points. We work together to bring education and information to women entrepreneurs. Connections is Jahida was talking about earlier, and networking is so very important, and who you know. And then community. Women often like to work together in that tribe vibe and really create that sense of community. And the more we can broaden our community, the more support that's brought to us. So that's the WBC's approach to helping women get there. And so where do you start? Similarly to Pathstone, there's so many things that we do, and we have tons of resources and opportunity on our webpage, which is the live link on the first slide. But there, we start with something called an Ignite session. We have counterparts, which I'll get to in a little bit down the road here, that do great counseling. And I think it's really important to know what you do really well, and then help your clients find other places and what they do really well. And so we really work with partnerships in that way. Our Ignite session is very specific. It works with both businesses that have not yet launched and businesses that have launched. Every phase along business, you'll have a whole new set of questions and challenges to work with. And so you know, just like life, you'll constantly be looking for new information and learning growth to help your business grow. And so whatever point that you're in, we have an Ignite session set up. Walk through a canvas of your understanding and knowledge and practices of current business. And then that way we can help you figure out where your gaps are, your operational gaps and your knowledge gaps, and maybe your connection gaps. And then from there, we can put a path together of how we can help you go forward. If you can go to the next slide. Yes. And so people often talk about getting into different programs. And we have both membership programs and client programs. So anybody that utilizes the WBC for any purpose, we call them a client. Our membership programs are our e-network programs and our advisory group programs. And the reason why we have them is just so that we have a year with that group. And so you as the client gets to know your group and set up an like built-in group of ambassadors for you. The more you get to know each other, the more you can tell the community about those businesses and really support one another. We constantly thrive on the concept that we build stronger, stronger businesses faster if we rise together. Next slide, please. So a little bit about the first program I mentioned, our e-network clients. Going back to Jahida's thought about networking, we years ago said women need to really learn, even though we're great social beings usually, how to be strategic in our networking. There's an opportunity to go spend all day, every day networking in different activities. Again, let's just do a thumbs up. How many of you do networking on a regular basis with a number of different organizations? Did I just do that, or did you do that? Oh, there we go. Okay. I lost my slides there. Okay. Yeah, so the intention here is to really teach women how to use strategic networking for business development. and how to be good ambassadors, build partnerships, and strong business relationships. And so this is, since it's based on business development, it really focuses on owners and that are already in business, as well as those that might be in a company and focusing on business development for them, that company. And so we're really proud to say that they helped recruit and earn $500,000 in new revenue from new clients for one another last year. And so that was great news. Next slide. Our advisory groups work on that concept of strategic growth, again, for a business. And what's great about this program is that, again, giving you a tribe vibe of small groups, even smaller than we have today. We cap them at 12. And they meet monthly. And again, as I was talking about earlier about having different set of questions and issues each phase of your business. You know, you can see down there, the master is for women that have a full team and their revenue is on the verge of million to multi-million. And there's still a lot of things to question, whether it's properly utilizing and capitalizing on their federal certification or state certification for larger contracts, or HR issues with their team and staying current with that, leadership, going from, again, let's just see really quickly, if you could give me a thumbs up, how many of you have team members that are employees that work for you? Okay, so we don't have anybody in the group that's in that point, which is very common for women to not have employees. So our launch group is to learn all that there is to learn about setting a strong foundation. Grow is focuses heavily on the finances for growth, but also inexpensive marketing and those sorts of building up your business. Elevate is for building out your business, and as I mentioned, master is the end there, and each one of them has a separate set of things that they need to learn, but we utilize accountability with one another. How many of you have heard of accountability partners or utilize an accountability partner in any way of your life, whether it be for mental health or whether it be for physical fitness or whatever it be? How many have utilized the idea of a accountability partner? Okay, a couple. Yeah. So it really works. It's tremendous to be able to, you know, entrepreneurship, you're kind of out there on your own. You feel like you're out there on your own a lot, right? And so to have somebody working with you within the group, so you have a group, so you have your group of ambassadors that know about you and are cheering for you, but then you also have one more designated accountability partner that really dives in with you and checks in with you, and you them. How are you doing on those goals? Because we set up SMART goals with every business in the beginning of that program. And then, because all of these are results orientated. We're not coming to class to mess around. these chicks are serious business owners, and they want to know how am I going to, this is at the beginning of my presentation, profit, right? We're not here to volunteer ourselves in this business. We're here to make profit. And my personal mission and goal for running the Women's Business Center is financial independence for women. As a whole, there's a whole mess of women's issues that can really be directed back to financial independence, whether it be domestic violence situations or or poverty, a lot of things. If we could come back to financial independence for women, we as a gender would be much better off in society. And so that's my personal goal. And so that's what we focus a lot here on, and your strategic growth, financially measurable results. So we can have the next slide, please. Okay, and as I mentioned, we don't want to be the end all be all. The point is to help give you a place of support and a place of accountability and a place to move you forward. But working with Passstone, Canisius, PTAC, the Law Center, the Consumer Credit Counseling Services, SBDC Score, SheCan, this is the place. Like we in our vision statement that we put up earlier, we said we're the home of women entrepreneurship. So the stop in place to really find out how to expand that community. You know, we want to have a place where everybody's included, welcomed, and supported. But then you don't want to have a small realm for business. You know, it is great to support your fellow women of color businesses. It's great to support your fellow women-owned businesses, but we want everybody to support those businesses. And so myself as the executive director, I find it my duty, my responsibility to find these other agencies and these other corporate entities that will support our women entrepreneurs, that will be allies and supporters as well. And so we want to make those connections with you and for you. So the great thing about being the Women's Business Center is funded mainly by the Small Business Administration federally. So that's wonderful. But then we're also hosted by Canisius College, which gives us an opportunity to partner our clients with a group of students. And we do a few different projects like this every year. And it's great hands-on working knowledge for the students, but also all small businesses could use a couple of extra hands and a couple of extra minds to help them work things out. And so they work on real deliverables. They've done an employee handbook for clients before. They've done market research in other countries. This international class did great market research for some of our clients, like 9 clients last year, to see if there was a market in other countries for their business. So that was really exciting. So lots of different categories. And PTAC we partner with on certification, which is good opportunities for women in many different phases to find out if they can procure contracts with the government to expand their business opportunities. And obviously law, there's so many questions that business owners have, you know, legally, and attorneys are so expensive. So the Law Center is a great resource to have the opportunity to ask attorneys some questions and get some guidance on that. And obviously, you know, as Passstone is really aware, and we partner on getting loans, getting your credit in place, financially getting yourself set up, something we all want to work for. And SheCan is a new partnership we're kicking off on the 23rd because they focus on the woman as an individual. I don't know if you've heard of this organization before, another nonprofit as we are, and they focus on mental health, personal growth, and we as a WBC are very mission orientated on business education. And so it's a great partnership that we've just kicking off so that a woman entrepreneur can holistically be supported with 2 organizations that really focus on a sense of community and support of one another. Can you give me the next slide? And please, by all means, you know, I don't know if Adam or Jahida, is anybody watching to see if there's questions, or am I supposed to be doing that? Are you all muted?
We're watching.
Sorry.
We're watching, Sarah.
We're
Okay,
watching.
great.
You're good.
Thank you. By all means, I can talk fast because I'm really passionate about this information and supporting women, but that does not mean that I can't take a breath to let you speak. So if any of you have questions or want to talk about something, by all means, raise your hand or put a question in chat, and we can digress and we can chat about whatever it is that you're looking at. But again, the networking opportunities. You know, a lot of times people are networking all over the place, but then there are other times that people come to me and say, I haven't really gotten into networking and now I need it more than I have before. Sometimes businesses start off on word of mouth, and they haven't really gotten into that sales development side, but now they're hitting a slump, and they got to start building out their network. So these are just some ideas that have really worked for people. You know, there's BNI is a very strict sales funnel type of organization. They are all about building referrals and exchanging referrals for one another. NABO, yes, thank you for that. I have my watch right next to me. I've been watching. NABO, ABWA, those are other women's organizations that focus on women in business and women entrepreneurs. Startup Grind is a very interesting business in Western New York Venture Association to try and get you interested in the thought process of in businesses that are scalable, high growth, and that investor scene. Which I love women to just, even if you don't think your business is going to be a high growth or is potentially investable, I love women to go and try out those events, see what they're like, because often that's what builds into it. You know, once your business is going, maybe there's a way to pivot. Maybe there is a way for it to be very scalable. And so it's good to just experience that. Buffalo Boss Babes is another more social organization. SBA, as I mentioned, we're partners with, funded by them. Obviously, all of the different chambers, there was a bunch, and they've always got things going on. Alumni recognition events, there's usually all over the place, and sometimes those are really great networking events.
Hey, Sarah.
And also,
yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to jump in and just say we do have a comment in the chat. Carrie Byrne just saying she's hesitant to go further in her business due to COVID. So she's been standing by and observing, but she needs to do something. So, and then there's another one saying, how can I manage my fear and anxiety, especially during COVID, as I launch my business?
Yeah, really good points. You know, the COVID scenario, let me just see that first one to make sure I'm specific. Yeah, so the scenario, and I don't want to take too much time trying to find that, but about what do I do now, because I've just been kind of waiting. I know we've had a number of clients that, and I'm frustrated with that word pause that was used, you know, New York on pause for a while, because really businesses can't pause. The economy doesn't pause, businesses don't pause. And so we were doing these brainstorming sessions weekly to try and help people figure out what to do. And there's just so many different nuances. It really is about the industry. Did she mention what industry she's in with that comment?
Carrie Byrne, let's see. Sorry, Carrie, I know you introduced yourself earlier.
Oh, yeah, she did. She's interested in starting health coaching. I took a note. So yeah, the idea of coaching is great for online. I know a lot of businesses have been really capturing this opportunity because you can still do that kind of coaching online. So I think that if you haven't already learned all that you can learn about technology platforms and social media platforms to expand your business, those are the types of educational workshops that you should be honing in on right now so that you can take your business that way. One of the things that I've been talking a lot to our business owners about is that even though New York's opening up right now, and I know that we all see what's going on in the rest of the country, I fear that it's only a matter of time before it infiltrates back to New York. And so even though our businesses are opening up right now, we need to be very attentive on how we can keep our business going online in case it comes back to that resort, or even be prepared for it permanently to be online and in person when we open up that way. But yeah, a lot of networking is that I have on the end here. LinkedIn and Facebook groups are doing online networking. Zoom calls, like our She Can event that we have coming up on the 23rd is networking, and we're going to be dividing up into small groups to help create those networks. So there's opportunity, but you're going to have to do a lot more work online than before.
All right, and Sarah,
And technology is important to find. There's so many different platforms that can create different opportunity than what you were able to do in person before.
We do have another comment, Sarah, and it's from Kiana. So she's ready to take action and revamp her plan, but her obstacle right now is funding sources for spacing, equipment, etc. So any recommendations for that?
Funding sources for space. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Space and equipment. Yeah.
Kiana, I was looking at your notes, my note on you too. So you're the fitness center. I had a couple of businesses in this scenario. So I definitely would go back to that thought process of making sure you have a product line or a service line that can be online. I know that I know fitness centers is what a lot of people are making, challenging the governor on right now so that we could get back into gyms. But I would definitely make sure, I'm looking at you, can you give me a thumbs up? Do you have a thought process, or you can even, can they unmute themselves, or do you have to?
Yeah. They can unmute.
Okay. Yeah, do you have currently, a service line or a product line that you could offer online?
Well, the service could be available online. It would just have to be done in small group sessions. Originally, the plan would be a room of 30 kids or less, 30 and less kids doing fitness activities. But so now my idea is to revamp it to smaller sizes, 10 or less, and break those spaces down. Meaning aerobics in one room, equipment in another. But that can be done online as well in sessions, small group sessions is what I was thinking. I didn't want to just be me online showing the activity. I wanted actually to have kids available to show other kids how to do it. They learn better from other kids to me.
Right.
So I did want other kids to be available, maybe even if it's just 5 kids online, doing the activities and things like that. But that's where my obstacle comes in at, because the equipment to me plays a big part in what I'm trying to do. So if you think valleys, baby valleys, you think equipment, you know what I mean? So that kind of is where I get stuck at.
You mean physical fitness equipment?
Yes. So they do have kids fitness equipment starting from the ages of 3 to 5, and then 3 to 9, then 9 to 12, and then 13 to 17. So I kind of wanted to do it in stages according to age, and weight class.
So again, I would definitely prepare to make sure that you can, if you were doing online, that you show them about resistance and using their own body weight and stuff like that, so that you didn't have to be reliant on that if you were to go back online. But as far as funding goes, I'm sure that Adam would be happy to talk to you about different financing options for purchasing equipment if you want. Frankly, when I am talking to new businesses, Jahida mentioned earlier CDFIs, which are microlenders. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them or not, but a lot of times new businesses are reluctant to go to the traditional lenders, and sometimes traditional lenders are reluctant to support new businesses. But CDFIs such as Pathstone and some of the other ones in our area are more willing to work with startups. And I did see that they also had in that first slide some grant opportunities that were available too. I don't know if those were just COVID recovery grants or if those were, just small business grants, but that's something to look into. But I definitely think, I always advise a CDFI. It's something that you can rely on than those grants.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question fully?
It does.
Okay, great.
Sarah and Sarah, we have another comment here saying
Sure.
the most difficult part, so it's Corey Verona, the most difficult part for launching a beauty business has been sourcing during COVID. So they're finding themselves using more of their funding to cover inventory, and now they're afraid, they won't have enough for marketing. So do you have any advice besides social media marketing for startups?
Honestly, social media marketing is usually the cheapest form of marketing. It's usually where we guide people for those early stages of business because it's the least expensive. Who's this, Corey?
Corey Verona.
Oh yeah, Corey, you're doing the natural and organic stuff. I am all about that too. I'm totally one of your girls. But I think that are you currently utilizing SEO for your website?
Hi, yes. So we are in the pre-launching stages.
Oh, okay.
So we have a website. We did a soft launch on social media just to kind of get momentum started and start sharing stuff and get followers. But we're still haven't launched. We originally had a date for the spring. However, that didn't happen because our manufacturer, went from 100% to around 25% productivity, and they were focusing on the bigger orders. So we're kind of, at the end of the road there. But we're thinking for the fall, early fall, we'll have inventory. But prices went up, everything went up. So now the cost of manufacturing is way higher than what we thought. So,
yeah.
We are using social media. We find ourselves pretty good at it, but it's just what other, parts could we do? I know that you guys mentioned networking, there's so much access I have in Pennsylvania. So I think, what other networking events, maybe virtually, because now we're not going to be doing face to face, could I take advantage of to share my products and everything.
Yeah. So all those organizations that I mentioned about networking, they're all doing it still virtually. So you can still look them up. The other thing that I think now is a good time to take advantage of is earned media. So if you could, have you ever worked with press releases or written a press release for yourself for your business? Yeah. So if you could create a contact list of all of the local papers, the small community ones as well as the bigger ones, and the radio stations and the TV stations, right now they're all looking for stories for small businesses. All the community wants to have small businesses succeed, and so they reach out to me on a regular, and I know that if you reach out to them directly, and whether it be a launch of a new product line, or if you want to tell your story, if you got PPP and you want to tell them about how it's working for you, if you want to tell them what's going on, I can't promise you that they'll all pick it up, but usually they're looking for stories on small business right now.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also, if you're using social media advertising, like paid advertising, putting $20 on a Facebook ad or something like that, there's also the opportunity to make sure you're utilizing YouTube videos or things like that, and then multi-purposing your content and spreading it across all the mediums that you're utilizing.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So yes, I see that it's time. How do you guys want to handle that? Do you want to skip through? Do you want to just take more questions? What's your preference?
I think if anyone has any more questions, that's what we're here for. So definitely, if anyone has any more questions, if not, then we can kind of just go forward and, just give everyone an update on upcoming events, forums, things like that. Let's see. Looks like Coral, welcome back if you're asking. Okay, Carrie, we're about to wrap up, but feel free, to reach out if you have any questions. I understand some people have to, hop off. Okay, I'll, give it one more minute in case anyone has any questions. You're free to comment in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask your question, and that might be easier. We'll give a second for that.
Do you want to just skip through
Yeah.
to Haida to see?
Let me know when to stop.
Go ahead, go another one.
Another one?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's just more information about how much we are, even though things are tough, that's why I put the Wonder Woman on there. Even though things are tough for us women, we shake it through, we find our way, and definitely, and we're all fighters. So next one. Oh, I did want to really quickly mention that the WBCs, as I said, a part of the SBA, we're actually across the country. So I know that a few of you have joined from other states. Most likely there's a WBC in your state as well. There's over 100 grants out there, but about almost 150 locations, and supporting women in all languages and backgrounds. And so please reach out and make sure that you utilize the WBC community as a part of your stopping point. And that was really it. I did have one of our client stories, but now that we're on time and I want to, be respectful of that. I'm so grateful that everybody joined us in today. I have, lots of information and opportunity to connect with you. If there's anybody that wants to call, I think we had our information in the first slide. I don't know if you're sharing these slides, Haida,
Yes. Yeah. So they'll get an opportunity to read through Angel's story because it'll be hyperlinked in there. And all the other links as well are hyperlinked. So, feel free to browse through them. We'll send out a post email to everyone that attended.
Right. And reach out if there's any way that we could help.
Yeah. So that being said, thank you, Sarah, so much for hosting our discussion today. Super thrilled that we have a ton of people that joined us, and obviously people are thirsty for this information. Like, this is what we need. But just to give everyone a heads up on upcoming events, we do have our next forum in 2 weeks. So July 24th, it's on a Friday at 11 a.m. as well. If the time changes, then obviously, we'll let everyone know. Our Money Talk series started this Wednesday. We just had our first session this Wednesday, because today's Friday. And our next one is next Wednesday. It's a 4-part series. We had a ton of people attend that workshop as well. So, for people that are already have an existing business or are, kind of looking into starting a business, this is the time to definitely look into the financial aspect of it and, what you should be doing. We do have another workshop starting on the 20th of July, and that is Boot Camp for Startups. So that is specifically for people looking to start a business. It is, I think it's an 8-session workshop. But that's really going to help anyone that has that passion, that they're ready to be an entrepreneur and they're just not really sure how to start. That's where to sign up, and we can get you all that information. Let me see if there's anything else. Any final questions? There was just one final question, which is perfect because it's says it's a wrap here. Kiana says, for advisement, is the Ignite session the best way to go?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't mean to respond to her privately, but I did.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Yes, we actually have an online scheduler on our website. One of the first sliders on the main page says schedule your free 60-minute consultation, and then it will bring you to a scheduling link so you can make an appointment for you.
Awesome. All right. So like I said, everyone, we will send out a post forum email so you can have access to all of the hyperlinks and, really start getting your hands into the dirt, so to speak. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and we hope to see you on the next forum. Take care, everyone.
Rock it, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was amazing.